It turns out there's some incredible technology inside a television that can be repurposed and turned into false window lights.
I'm not reacting, I'm getting inspired to ravage an old TV. Time for some postmortem. I made an LED video light, and before you say you had enough of these light making videos on YouTube, hold on, my approach will be a lot different from what you've seen so far. Except for the electronics, this entire light is made out of aluminum. It's got a dimmer which can be used to dim the light, adjust the brightness of the light. It's got a fan and it's got a customized heatsink, and I'll show you how to make one yourself. It may not be possible for everybody to make this version of the LED light that I've made. You need some tools, and most of the parts I've used in this light are scavenged from various sources. So you can watch this video for entertainment. Also, most of my videos have got tips and tricks that can be quite useful in your day-to-day life. If you don't want any of these and you want to make a light right now and start recording right away, I would say click on the I button on top. There's another video. The link also is given in the description below. It's a very quick, easy and a cheap way to put together a light in a matter of 15 to 20 minutes. Also, during the end of the video, I've talked about whether or not you should make your own LED light. It is not something everybody talks about, so I don't think you want to skip that part. So what does an old LED TV have to do with all of this or any of this? That, my friends, is something you're going to find out. I took effort to draw all of this to persuade you to subscribe to my channel, so hope you click on that subscribe icon now. The usual rule I follow to open something up is see a screw, open that screw. After I removed the back panel,
What's it look like in there?
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
not knowing what is what, I just went ahead and disassembled every electronic board while being careful not to touch any of the capacitors without discharging them. Finally, I reached to the point where the panel was and continued disassembling. I found the Fresnel lens sandwiched between a diffusion plastic and a diffusion paper. Until this point, my idea was to make a big light for video work or try and use the Fresnel lens and try to make a solar cooker out of it. But this Fresnel lens doesn't seem to be focusing the light. I tried using a smaller wallet Fresnel lens and a magnifying glass. Both worked, but not this one. Am I doing anything wrong here? Let me know. After removing the thin tube lights, I put the Fresnel lens and the diffusion material back into the frame and realized it was very bulky. It was very heavy for a basic light stand and would need some heavy hardware to mount it somewhere. Drawback was it would be fixed to a spot which I don't prefer. I tried playing around with the diffusion sheet and the Fresnel lens, and the results seemed to be promising. I re-evaluated my options, and this is where the project deviated. Why not make a small LED light? Not so small, but I had this panel with me for a long time, so why not use it? It has 120 LEDs and it is super bright. To adjust the brightness of the light, a dimmer is required. This panel gets very hot on 12 volt 3 amps. If not used with a heatsink, the circuit will be fried. But I don't have a big enough heatsink, so I decided to improvise. I got this aluminum profile which are used in glass windows. By cutting 4 pieces and placing them next to each other would make a perfect heatsink. That's what I think. But drilling holes in the circuit board will short circuit it. We need a backing plate which will also serve in the structure of the build. This was overkill, but I decided to make the top frame using aluminum bars. With each passing project, I tried to pick up something that's a little harder than the one that I did before. In a way, I tried to pull myself out of my comfort zone and try and explore something new. So these are the parts we have. 1-inch flat bars of 6mm thickness cut to length and breadth, half-inch bars with mitre cuts which are again 6mm in thickness, 4 pieces of aluminum profile and 2 plates. This was a dumb idea, but it worked, to use super glue to keep everything in place. Combined with masking tape, they provide enough strength to hold on while drilling. The holes were drilled with a 2.5mm drill bit and tapped using 3mm drill bit for the screws. This was my first time tapping threads. Took me a lot of time and a few broken taps. The screws are not uniform now, they are temporary, they were changed later. The pieces of heatsink have to be held together, and 2 4mm long bolts could do the trick. The heatsink goes onto the back of the aluminum plate The light panel gets mounted in the front and these pieces are held together by a couple of screws. The light panel was not mounted yet. Holes were drilled for ventilation, for the wires to be connected, and a hole was drilled and tapped for a 1/4 inch thread to screw the hot shoe. The back plate was filed to shape, drilled and tapped as well. I had this DIY fed light made long time ago. I'm not using it now, so the fan can be now taken out for this project. This fan can be mounted on the back plate. This fan is the reason why the sides of the light were made of 1-inch flat aluminum bar. The diffusion material I found in the TV could be cut to size. The plastic sheet doesn't cut easily, so scoring it with a Sharpie a few times should do the trick. On this front plate, the light is to be mounted first, followed by the diffusion paper, then comes the Fresnel lens, and then on top would be the plastic sheet. The edges of the light can be filed smooth. Then I covered the front plate with masking tape and gave it a layer of black matte spray paint. I forgot to make the holes for the exhaust fan, so I removed the back plate and drilled a large hole in it. Now we can solder all of the electronic components starting with the LED panel. The body of the light is metal and we don't want any short circuit there. Insulation tape was used to avoid any electrical contact with the body of the light. Before attaching the light panel, thermal paste was applied to the back of the LED panel and the heatsink as well. These were screwed in their respective places. While the power supply to the LED panel is through the dimmer circuit, the fan is attached to the 12 volt supply directly. The connection is simple. 12 to 24 volts DC power goes into the dimmer. The output from the dimmer is 12 volt, which is connected to the LED panel. Since I am using a 12 volt supply, the fan is connected directly to the 12 volt supply. The circuit was wrapped with insulation tape and stuck into a comfortable spot inside the frame with some double tape. The back plate was put in its place again and another coat of spray paint finished the job. We have a video light which we can use for video production. Let me switch it on. And we can adjust the brightness a little bit. It is not very precise, but kind of does the job. And you don't get this kind of brightness with the regular shop-bought LED drivers. So I think this PWM pulse width modulation circuit does a better job. I hope you're not able to listen to the fan sound. The fan is not that loud and it is not going to get hot, and you can run it continuously for a long periods of time. Use it in your video productions. So here is the big question: should you be buying these lights or making them by yourself? The answer, my friends, in my opinion is it depends on your geography. If you are in a place where all these lights are available, the professional lights are available at a cheaper price, then by all means go for it, because it does not make any sense to take all of these efforts and make a light by yourself unless you're interested in making something by yourself. But if you're in a region where professional brands are not available for you, then let me just give you another suggestion. When I look at videos which say video lights for under $50, high quality video lights for $50, and by the time I add them into my shopping cart and I see the price, it goes like say more than 100%, because there is shipping, there is taxes, there is handling charges, there is so much of cost involved in all those things. All of that adds up to the cost and the price goes like 200%. Let us take a small detour and understand the lights being used for video production. 10 years ago, LED lights were not that famous. CFL lights with full spectrum, HMI lights, spars, halogen lamps, all of these things were used for continuous lighting for video production. But later, DSLRs became an affordable video production camera, and since then, loads of features have been packed into DSLRs. We now have mirrorless cameras that do exceptionally well in low light conditions, and some smartphones are good in low light conditions. Likewise, the lights being used for video production have gone through tremendous change. They've become smaller, they've become better and brighter. Not the right words to describe video lights, but then you get the context. While it may not be possible for a normal person to make a camera or a camera lens in his home workshop, or sometimes locally purchased cameras or lenses may not give you good results, but then LED lights can still be considered if you know what you want. So an average video maker does not have to bother himself or herself with a bigger light. In my case, the lights I'm using for my videos, I bought these for around 16,000 rupees 6 years ago, but these same very lights can be purchased for under 6,000 rupees for a pair. Now this may sound a little bit cliche, but it comes down to one important thing. It is not the lights you are using, it is the art of lighting. The irony of this video is I made a video light and I'm telling you guys not to make one and buy one if you can. And if you still want to make yourself a video light, maybe because you are running low on budget or you want a video light for some other purpose, There is a video link given in the description below. You can check it out. You can make a light real quick and real fast. I make a lot of random things on my channel, guys, but these two videos here are specifically about video production. If you're interested, please have a look at them. If you want to watch more of my content, you can always subscribe to my channel, Video Eppu. Click on the subscribe icon. And guys, thanks for watching this video this far. I will see you in another interesting video very soon. Until then, bye-bye.